that felt good.
Yeah? Cool. All right, let's kick into it. Let's rock.
That was so obvious, but
I know it's obvious. I was trying to come up with something a bit more nuanced or a bit more like specific to Camp Rock. But yeah, let's camp. Let's get camp. Yay! Hello, everybody,
Howdy,
and
campers.
welcome. Howdy, campers, to film franchise Fortnights on the Cult Pop Show podcast. My name is Alexander Jones.
You might recognise him from Grim Sky Productions.
God, stop! No, that wonderful voice accosting me and bringing up the demons of my past is all the way across the country from me, ladies and gentlemen. It's Richard Martin.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful introduction.
I'm annoyed actually because I just remembered a different way I was going to open this podcast. I was going to be like, hey everybody, welcome to Film Franchise Fortnights on the Cult Pop podcast. My name is Cameron Proctor, but all my friends call me Cam Proc.
No.
Anyway, this is a podcast where Richard and I defy distance, the distance that's physically between us, which is immeasurable compared to the how close we are emotionally. And we connect over Skype and talk about a different film franchise every fortnight. And this fortnight, we had Camp Rock, the Disney Channel original duology. And before we get into it, Richard, I don't know about you, but I'm a little thirsty.
Oh,
Oh shit!
1 second.
Okay. This evening I'm enjoying a delicious Coca-Cola Zero.
I'm back on my headphones.
He's back. Richard, what have you got for
I'm
us?
thirsty too.
Yay! What are you drinking?
The last little bit of a vanilla Coke Zero, 1.5 litre.
Very good. I'm already burping.
Ugh.
We're already
Mine's
deep
flat.
into the podcast. Oh, well, maybe we should drink flat soda. That would take away the burping, which I imagine is horrible to listen to.
Yeah. But I like that I can tell that you maybe don't have a lot of content for this episode, that you immediately resorted to the Coke Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
I also have two bottles of alcohol here from the night we recorded the Hangover podcast, because you
true.
left your one up in Auckland. So maybe I could put some Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire into my Coke Zero. And
I also have some Maker's Mark whiskey, and my dad got me a what is this? A Mogu Mogu lychee juice with like a bubble tea kind of thing.
Put some in your Coke Zero. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do
I'm
this.
not ruining it. I've been looking forward to this Coke Zero all day. I'm not going to put bubble tea.
No, well, you said you had whiskey.
Oh, right, do the whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I mean, why not? Because I hated these movies. Spoilers. All right, we're going off the rails. Just a second. I just have to lean backwards.
Yep.
The best part is I barely have any Maker's Mark left. So
Yeah.
it's like, what else am I going to do with it?
Tennessee Fire. Like, I'm probably putting more. This is probably more than 50% Tennessee Fire at the moment.
All right, you're listening to us divulge on the podcast. Devolve as we divulge our feelings towards the Camp Rock series. Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I had way too much. I don't want this, and I've got to I was going to go to Kmart afterwards.
Yeah, I've got some work I need to do after this, but oh well. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you've convinced me not to.
Nah.
Here it goes.
Oh, God, it's going to taste like shit.
Oh, yeah, I've put too much in as well. Oh, geez, I can smell it. I was not in the mood to drink. I will be throwing up tonight. All right, I'm going to just swirl it around for a bit. And then
Wait, what does this taste like? It tastes like hot cross buns, my one. How does yours taste?
Oh, man, I am not. And why did I do this?
You have to keep drinking it, though.
Okay. The
Because
Camp Rock
AJ, you
series,
once told me that you would do anything for like a project or like a meme.
Yeah.
And just think about the meme of this. Actually, I think this might be off. Can alcohol like that go off? It's kind of like, it's sweetish, so it tastes kind of funny.
I don't think alcohol can go off
No,
because
but it's like a sweet Tennessee fire kind of thing.
I can tell you what can actually go off though. That isn't alcohol.
Yeah.
These movies, hell yeah. Here we are. These movies go off. All right, where are we? 5 minutes in, roughly, depending on where you started listening. Camp Rock. Camp Rock. Are you ready to talk about Camp Rock?
Yeah,
We
well,
can't
regardless,
keep them waiting.
Regardless of where they started listening, we're about 5 minutes into the podcast.
That's true. Camp Rock came out in 2008. Disney Channel original movie, directed by Matthew Diamond. And it is currently the third highest viewed DCOM, or Disney Channel original movie of all time, behind High School Musical 2 and Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. And Richard, what do you think our friend Camp Rock has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Like 20%?
It's exactly right. It's got 20%. And what is our 20% Camp Rock 2008, directed by Matthew Diamond, currently third highest viewed DCOM of all time behind High School Musical 2 and Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie about? What's the movie about?
So just to clarify, is High School Musical 2 the highest?
Yes.
Or is Wizards? Okay. It's about, Demi Lovato, who you might recognize as the singer Demi Lovato. She stars as Mitchie, a girl who desperately wants to go to a summer camp called Camp Rock, where you learn to be a rock musician. And meanwhile, Shane Gray, played by Joe Jonas, who you might recognize from the Jonas Brothers or the band DNCE, is a member of a band called Connect 3, which is played by the other two members of the Jonas Brothers, Nick and Kevin Jonas. And he is sentenced to like a community service kind of thing. So he has to go to Camp Rock because he's such a rock and roll star. And yeah, we learn we meet a lot of friends on the way. Mitchie only ends up going because her mother is the caterer, so she goes at a discounted rate because they're a little bit poor. But yeah, so there's like a hierarchy. There's like this popular girl called Tess who she kind of falls in with. It's a very Mean Girls sort of style story where she like gets in with the cool girls and then forgets who her real friends are and what she came there for. And eventually she ends up performing at the final jam. And gets...
It's interesting how Joe Jonas effectively plays a Justin Bieber in trouble with the media type character. But this was before Justin Bieber was that person. So I wonder if anyone ever drew that parallel before. Thank you, Richard.
Well, he's playing a Joe Jonas type, effectively.
Yeah, true. Actually, I don't know if that's true or not. I know nothing about the Jonas Brothers' politics behind the scenes. But I do know about a little film called Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, which came out in 2010, directed by Paul Hone and... Jennifer Armstrong from Entertainment Weekly enjoyed the film and called the performance of Demi Lovato dependently appealing, and I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, that's a strange thing to say.
What does Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Like 8?
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir.
9.
No, it's got 40%.
Oh, wow.
According to Rotten Tomatoes, Camp Rock 2 is twice as good as Camp Rock. And I would agree with that, but they're both not good. So measure that do that. What's that one about?
Well, Camp Rock 2 is basically Mitchie's back at camp. Her and Shane haven't seen each other since the first one, and they're like kind of dating now. And now there's a new camp, which you'll have to remind me its name.
Camp Star.
Camp Star has opened up across the lake, and they've got all the money behind them, and basically they say, let's have a final jam against each other. And basically, because Camp Star is so popular, because if Camp Rock loses, they are basically going to go under. But then they lose, but they made Camp Rock look so fun that now everyone wants to go there. And there's like B plots and all that shit as well.
Yeah. The other two Jonas Brothers have more significant roles in the second film. What do you think of these films? We know what I think of these films. What do you think of these films? Because I feel like they're more special to you than they are to me.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair point. I remember seeing the original when it came out, like when they released it on Disney Channel, and I enjoyed it at the time. I never saw the second one, and I don't know if it was like if we should get into this now because no, I'll save that, a little tease. But yeah, I didn't see the second one until watching it for this. But yeah, I enjoyed the first one at the time, but watching it again, I was like, yeah, this movie's pretty bad. And then the second one, I didn't think was any better. Yeah,
it's twice as good, but when movies are better than other movies, it's an exponential growth. Like, the difference between a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes isn't the same as the difference between, like, a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes and 100%. Like, that's way more significant. But that's just my own maths and means nothing. Who cares what I think? See, you're a few months older than me, and you were in like, because of how school years work, you were in the year above me in high school. But when Camp Rock came out in 2008, I was 15, and I
was
thought
20.
I thought I was too old for it. Like,
really?
I saw Disney Channel as being like the thing I was too old for now.
Right. Okay. Well, it's like I don't know if I would have like advertised the fact that I was like into the Jonas Brothers and stuff like that, and because I have like terrible music taste. In fact, I'm seeing Simple Plan live tomorrow night.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah. So, like, yeah, these aren't movies. I guess that I was like, yeah, I don't remember. That's interesting that you mentioned that, but I don't know necessarily that I was like proud of liking these movies, and I didn't even know that I liked that much. I can appreciate that they're like real cheesy, like the final song being like, "This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now.
Yeah,
gonna let the light shine on me." You know?
Yeah. Did you want me to sing along? Because I don't remember that song very well.
Really? Because that's like the song.
I recognized it when I heard it as the song.
Yeah,
but not enough to commit it to memory.
Yeah. But, you know, I like the Jonas Brothers. And
so, what you're talking about here, it brings me to my first sort of gripe that I have with this movie and movies like it. And by movies like it, I mean that the Disney Channel original movie.
DComs.
Yeah, the DComs. Because Camp Rock exists in that weird Disney Channel alternate universe where teenagers are as innocent and well-behaved as their parents hope they are. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, no one... You're telling me an entire camp full of rock and roll loving teenagers aren't banging in tents every night, aren't
doing
smoking drugs. Like, yeah, and at the start of the film... They go to Camp Rock, and someone like with a guy who runs it gets on stage, and this other lady gets on stage, and they go like full "How do you do, fellow kids?" Like they're like, "Welcome, campers! Are you ready to rock?" And everyone's going nuts for it. The teenagers think it's the coolest shit ever, and it's like, no. At 15, if I went to a camp and they were like, "Well, hey kids, are you guys ready for the rock and roll?" I'd be like, "Oh my god, what am I doing here?" And I was an innocent teenager. Like, yeah. I wasn't smoking drugs or anything. Like, I was as innocent as my parents hoped I would be.
Yeah.
Like, I was a Disney Channel kid, but even I was cynical about adults trying to be cool.
Yeah, well, like, and so when she's like, "Are you guys ready to rock?" And then these two, like, cool dudes jump on stage and, like, rap, and she's like, "Oh, okay, let's groove to this beat."
Yeah, but she's cool. She's cool for doing it. Everyone thinks she's awesome. It's so weird. And I guess High School Musical is similar in that respect, that it's got that same vibe to it. But I don't know, maybe because was High School Musical 1 a theatrical release, or was that
no? Only the third one was.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And fun fact about the third High School Musical film is I saw it 3 times in the cinema.
I think you've told me that before.
Yeah. And you might think, oh, you know, he has like a large group of friends, you know, they all want to see it. No, I saw it with the same 2 guys every time. And so this is back in the days of like having to get your parents to like buy movie tickets and stuff like that. The third time I went, I had to lie and say that I was going to Keanu Reeves's The Day the Earth Stood Still so that they would give me money for a movie ticket so that I could go see High School Musical 3 for a third time.
Ill in One Day, or
No.
oh, that would have been the true meme. That would have been the creamier form of that.
I'm
meme.
still hunting for the true meme.
So yeah, that's that. Yeah, that I think High School Musical got away with it more because it feels like there's more love gone into High School Musical.
Yeah, well, Camp Rock, I think was what maybe attracted me to it was that it was like a rock version of High School Musical. It was how it was advertised, and you know, being a cool rockin' young dude who's into things like David Bowie and the Jonas Brothers, I wanted to check that out.
Yeah,
and you know, we got some all right songs in it.
See, I would call you up on there like right away because I thought the songs in Camp Rock were all right. Again, Camp Rock 2 were all right, but the songs in Camp Rock were like, I don't know, I don't remember them. I didn't think any of them were that good.
Okay, let's get into this now.
AJ, you're actually hurting my feelings right now, please.
Okay, let's get into this now, because this is the discussion I've wanted to have with you. What is your what are your favorite songs from the films, and least favorite as well?
You're really testing how well I remember the songs, and maybe that speaks for itself. The one that there's two that come to mind.
Okay, what are they?
And they're both in Camp Rock 2, the final jam, and they're the one. Hold on, they're on the Wikipedia page. I'll look them up
because they're yeah. Wait, just explain them to me because I might be able to tell you.
Okay, there's the one that Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas sing about how they drive each other crazy, but they wouldn't. Well, wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the other one,
that one, Introducing Me, I think it was called.
Okay, so Introducing Me is no shit one of my favorite songs. Not from Camp Rock. I mean, like I charged
here we go.
I charged my old iPod for this. And pulled it up. Where is it? So
wait, so you were obsessed with a song that from a movie you never saw?
So that's what I was going to say. Introducing Me was the 6th most played song on my old iPod, and that means it probably it would have had upwards of like 150 plays, kind of thing.
Yeah.
For the record, the top song played on that iPod was Tommy and Krista by Thirsty Mick.
Ugh. so Introducing Me is the Charlie Swan from Twilight.
Yes, it is.
Songs from movies for you.
Honestly, it is. Introducing Me is such a fucking good song, and so the purpose of the song in the film is Nick Jonas is trying to woo this girl, but she's like, I don't know anything about you. So he writes this song called Introducing Me, and it's like just a list of things about himself. And it's just a fun song, and like it speeds up because he's got time pressure. And when they would perform, the Jonas Brothers would perform that song live. They would put up like a 2-minute counter behind him, and he had to perform the song in under 2 minutes. That's
great. Yeah. That's really fun. Do you not think it's a little derivative of a song? Like it kind of sounds exactly like you can count on me like 4, 2, 3, and I'll be there. You know that song? What's that song called?
Plain White Tees?
Yeah. It sounds like that song and Nothing's Gonna Stop Me from Divine Intervention. It sounds like a mix of those two songs. What's that song called?
I'm Yours.
I'm Yours. It sounds like those two songs. It sounds exactly like those two songs.
I don't know if I agree.
Nah, I watched I watched this movie with my little sister, and we just started singing those songs over Introducing Me, and it like blended perfectly into it, man.
Yeah, well, you can probably do any fucking song. Like
I couldn't. I'm not rhythmic
that's because you're untalented.
There's nothing wrong with Camp Rock 2, the final jam, AJ.
No. But I didn't enjoy the movie, and the movie on the whole was a disappointment. But man, fucking Introducing Me is such a good song. Anyone go check it out.
Can you sing us some of it?
I can sing you all of it.
Okay, do it.
I will. I fucking will.
Do it.
I'm good at wasting time. I think lyrics need to rhyme, and you're not asking. But I'm trying to grow a mustache. I eat cheese, but only on pizza, please. And sometimes on a homemade quesadilla. Otherwise, it smells like feet to me. And I really like it when the moon looks like a toenail. And I love it when you say my name. So, if you want to know, here it goes. Gonna tell you there's a part of me that shows if we're close, gonna let you see everything. But remember that you asked for it. I'll try to do my best to impress, but it's easier to let you take a guess at the rest. But you want to hear what lives in my brain and my heart while you ask for it for your perusing. At times confusing, possibly amusing. Introducing me to la da da da, la da 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 da.
Wow.
I never.
I wonder. Like, I'm not even doing like a sarcastic dig here, but I wonder if that could get copyright striked.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to cut that out, but like, just do like a minute and a half bleep over that. But yeah, I actually, fun fact about that song and why I like know the words so well is that like I could probably sing that song in under 2 minutes as well. Like, but I learned the lyrics to that song and also Freaks and Geeks by Childish Gambino, which I can perform if you want as well.
We'll save that for another podcast.
Like that's a quite lyric heavy song. But when I used to study acting, I learned those two songs as like a diction exercise. So I mean, obviously, like I'm doing a voice for for Nick Jonas, but yeah, well, because my voice teacher hated the fact that I wouldn't open my mouth and I mumbled a lot, and it's still a complaint that a lot of people have with me. But to rap or like sing really fast and still make sure I was getting all the words out was quite a good exercise for me. So before I would go on stage, you could hear me being like, if you want to know, here it goes, gotta tell you there's a part of me that shows if close, gonna let you see everything.
It'd be interesting for our listeners who have never heard that song, listening to Richard's rendition of it and being able to see if I'm Yours and Plain White Tees can be like slotted into the various points. I nearly cut you off to sing it, but I was like, nah, that'd be mean. Nothing's worse than...
I did feel awkward for a while, because do you know what, ever since we got Camp Rock, I've been like, I'm going to sing introducing me on the podcast, and then when it comes on, poor boy did I feel weird.
that's why I let you do it, man. I was like, there's no way he's going to sing this whole thing.
Well, no, because you've asked me to sing in my like kind of voice. You're the voice I hear inside my head. That's another song from Camp Rock. You've been asking me to do that for a couple of weeks, so I thought I'd now, like, if ever there was a podcast to do it, it's this one.
It's Camp Rock.
But yeah, sorry. So I still am on my like choo-choo train of thought. Sorry.
Please choo away.
it's and I thought, maybe it's content. So we're going. But I looked up rankings of every Camp Rock song. So MTV did a ranking of all the songs from the first one, and we can chat about that a little bit. And then BuzzFeed did one of all songs from both films. So interesting. Number 12 on MTV's list of the songs from the film is "Here I Am," the song that wins Final Jam in the first film, and it says so. Tess, the bad girl we've talked about before, her like underling, turns out she's a real good performer, and she like does a song by herself, and everyone's like, what, you can sing as well, even though you're at this fucking camp where everyone can sing? And she does the song. It's just like this little ballad. She's got a guitar, and it wins Final Jam. It's like pretty fucking bland. I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times, and I could not sing every single lyric in that song, and that, it's a bad song.
Well, Here I Am. That, to me, all I'm thinking of is am I thinking of Kelly Clarkson? Here I am once again. But you don't get to see the stairs behind these hazel eyes. That's what I thought of when you said "Here I Am," and my brain was like, I don't remember that song being in that movie.
Number 2, the second worst song, which I fucking agree with, is a song called "What It Takes." Do you remember that one?
No, I
That's the
remember
one.
4 songs.
It's like when they're like in the kitchen, I think, or no, they're in like some fucking communal space, and they're like, "All right, who wants to do this song?" And this one chick's like, "Yeah, I can," and it's like, "Who's got what it takes to be my man?" And it's like, what the fuck is this weird song? It's like this weird chanting, like, doom, tsh, doom, tsh. And like everyone's just like, it sounds like the MTV says that you'd be more likely to find this as an opener in a cult ritual than a summer camp. It's very fucking creepy. And the fact that it's like a 15-year-old girl singing like, "Who's man enough to handle all of this?"
That kind of speaks to a wider problem I have with not just this movie and not every musical, but a lot of musicals where like people just so casually start belting out like things you need to exercise a few minutes before singing.
Okay.
like there's a part in Camp Rock 2 where Mitchie arrives at Camp Rock and they all like join. They're like, "Oh, Mitchie, have you got anything for Final Jam this year? Because we don't have anything." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe." And they're like, "Oh, tell us." And she's like, "No, I don't want to." And they're like, "No, come on, Mitchie, we want to hear." And she's like, and then she's like, this like,
"I got my six string."
Yeah, like it's about last year or something. I can't remember how it goes. Anyway,
we'll get to that.
It's such a like casual way to belt into like going 100%. Like she goes from not wanting to do it to full bore.
Put a pin in that because I do actually have a real interesting point that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So remind me of that when I finish. So next worst song is "We Rock," which is like the
"We Rock."
Yeah, the anthem of the thing. So it's like funny, like these 3 worst songs, and then so I'll skip to the like top. So they put the number 1 song is called "Our Time Is Here." And this is the credit song.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a real dumb one. Okay, the BuzzFeed list is better. So they put the worst song in both movies is "This Is Our Song," which is the song that finishes Camp Rock 2 and convinces everyone to join Camp Rock. And they're all singing along and they all realize how much they love Camp Rock.
Yeah, I agree.
And then after next worst song is "Wouldn't Change a Thing."
No.
And it says, "This song is terrible."
No.
I'm sorry. Are you really comparing yourselves to Venus and Mars?
We're like Venus and Mars. We're like different stars. And it's like, are you saying that Venus and Mars are stars? Because they're not.
But number 18, they've got "Gotta Find You." But they point out, which was a problem I had with the film when it first came out, is that so Shane Gray, Joe Jonas, has heard Demi Lovato singing but didn't know who it was, and so he like using the melody of her song writes his own song, and he's like, "Oh, I've just been writing this thing," and performs it to her on the beach by himself, and then there's harmonies coming from somewhere. But he's just by himself.
Yeah. So, okay, you've touched on 2 tangents, so 2 separate tangents I want to go on.
That's part of the tangent I want to come back to, so we'll go.
Okay. We have to.
It's the same tangent. It's the same tangent.
We'll say them at the same time, like in a musical, how they all know the lyrics.
Number 10, they had "Play My Music," which I actually really like as a song. That's just like, but it's real funny that like, so the Jonas Brothers are called Connect 3 in this movie, and Joe Jonas is like, "Oh, they make me play that corporate pop. I want to play something different." And he's like, "I've got it." And he plays like the most random, like just obvious corporate pop song called "Play My." It's just a Jonas Brothers song. Yeah. So it's like, what were you doing beforehand?
They're like, they'd never let us play that.
But yeah, like it's a good song. I like it as far as Jonas Brothers songs go.
I don't remember it.
I just want to play my music.
Play that funky music, Jonas Brother.
But so their top 3, they have "Introducing Me" as number 3, which is obviously in the wrong place, but it's like, yeah, at least it's at the top. Number 2 is "Here I Am," the fucking what MTV called the worst song. They said it was the second best song in either film. And they put "This Is Me" at the top. So I feel like this list doesn't have its shit together because it's just saying, "Here I Am" won, so it's the best, and "This Is Me" you're supposed to think is the best, so it's the best. So if you ignore those 2 like hack entries, "Introducing Me" is the best one. in its rightful place.
Yeah,
but
the list turns into a sellout.
Yeah, but it also the third worst song they had is what we came here for, and it has this massive rant about how like Camp Rock 2, they've got the final jam, and they're talking about how they they've got to have a part for everyone, and then people are just like, oh, Joe and Demi, you're our best singers, you should just do it, and they do this like fucking boring song. But it makes Camp Rock look cool.
Yeah, they've got it. They put so much precedence on certain songs in these movies, like, and how good they have to be, but they're so indistinguishable from each other. They're not like, oh, that's the, like, as we say, the two best songs in the series are those two from the second movie, and one of them isn't actually being sung. Like, one of them's like a you know, like in musicals, how they sing, like their conscience, I guess, and the other one is like one that no one hears except for Nick Jonas's love interest. All right, let's go back and pull on some of these tangents.
Okay. So this is the like one point for the first time since maybe like SpongeBob. I wrote a note about this because I didn't want to forget it. It's just an interesting thing I noticed that like, I would have called, before today, or like before the last couple of days, I would have called Camp Rock a musical. But watching the two of them together, Camp Rock isn't a musical, but Camp Rock 2 is.
I know, yeah, this is exactly one of my tangents. If I could put it another way, the songs in Camp Rock, despite being clearly mastered and produced, happen in real life. When Joe Jonas is singing to Demi Lovato, the character is actually singing to Demi Lovato, and when they perform songs on stage, they are actually performing songs on stage. And Camp Rock 2, that happens sometimes, but a lot of the songs are your more traditional musical as a narrative device, where they sing their feelings, or that everyone knows the lyrics and it's all like choreographed, even though no one knew the song before anyone started singing it. Yeah. And isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well, like, and it's interesting because you watch like La La Land, say, first musical popped in my head, and like especially that opening number, you're like, oh, this is the world, this is how people express themselves, and everyone knows it. In Camp Rock 2, you become hyper aware of like, how does everyone know this song? And like the fact that someone will be like, they'll like, I'm starting my thought over here, and then it cuts, and then they're like, and I'm finishing it over here, and it's like, what were they doing in between that time? I became hyper aware of like every cut to like a new location. I'm like, what have you been doing for 5 minutes while you got over there?
I think the most egregious example of this is so when they get invited over to go to Camp Star on the first night of Camp Rock, and over there they perform some like shitty little song, and then Camp Star blow everyone out of the water with another shitty song that for some reason is more important to the characters, and it's like and they find out they've been practicing it for weeks, and so Camp Rock go home and they decide they're going to show them what's up by turning up and playing a song they'd actually prepared for, but Camp Star prepared like 2 weeks and Camp Rock prepared like 4 hours. but anyway, they turn up and they're like, yeah, we're going to show you what we're actually capable of. But then both Camp Rock and Camp Star sing the song together. It's like, why are Camp Star singing it? Like, if you're going to make singing like a magical plot device in the second one, fine, whatever. I don't care that much. But like, the very purpose of this one was that Camp Star didn't know it, didn't practice it, and didn't like are against it, and then they sing along with them. It's very strange. It's very odd. All right, can I pull on another tangent that you reminded me of? For it. Okay, so a big part of the first Camp Rock film is Joe Jonas. He hears Demi Lovato singing. Is it "This Is Me" that she's singing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't see her face, but he's like, man, what's that voice? I have to find that voice. And he's like obsessed with finding that voice, and he puts a big call out, if you're this girl, and Demi Lovato doesn't think it's her. But like, during this, Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas also develop like a love story without knowing that he's looking for her. like that it's her voice he's looking for.
That she's the voice he hears inside his head.
Yeah.
The reason that he's singing.
Yeah, and there she is, and like, but there's
This is her.
This is her. There's no like. What was he going to do if it wasn't Demi Lovato? Was he going to be like, sorry, I don't love you anymore because this is the voice I heard inside my head? So the stakes are like
The reason that I was singing.
Yeah. The stakes are these weird parallel of like, if it wasn't her, it'd be a really bad message and it'd be a really shitty character, or it's like you either needed one or the other. I don't know if you needed both, but then they wouldn't work if it was just one or the other. I don't know. To be honest, the whole like who sung this, I don't know who was singing this, is kind of an overdone trope anyway. I think I've seen.
Yeah, it's like before. Cinderella. It's beautiful.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Kevin Jonas is the worst Jonas brother. Discuss.
I mean, I think it's a harsh thing to say. He's married. I don't know.
Hitler was married.
Yep.
Got him. No, okay, I feel like
I don't know. I know you have an irrational hatred for him. So
this isn't. I'm not a Jonas Brothers fan, but surely Kevin is widely considered to be the like Ringo Starr of the Jonas Brothers. Surely.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like it's more complicated because like he doesn't sing. He's not like a sex symbol. He's just, like. You know, the other two have gone on to have successful solo careers, and you know, Nick Jonas was in Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, but like Kevin Jonas is quite happy he's gotten married. He did Married to Jonas TV series, but he seems like he's quite happy to have just gone away from the spotlight. So I don't really have anything against him for like just being there and being in his brothers, like in a band with his brothers.
I think he's the worst celebrity named Kevin.
Even worse than Kevin Costner.
Dude, of course. What did Kevin Costner ever do?
He was in Man of Steel, and he was in that real dumb scene where he's like, "Don't save me," and it's like, "Well, I could. Like, I'm Superman."
Yeah, but Kevin Jonas was in that real dumb scene in Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, where he got whipped cream on his face and pretended to be scared over scary stories that weren't scary. Anyway, all right, that fell flat, but that's okay. I'm keeping it in. We talk about titles a lot on this podcast, and there's a few interesting tidbits about titles. So the titles of these films, if you didn't remember, are called Camp Rock and Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. Now, the first film actually had a few other titles before it was decided to be Camp Rock, and when I tell you them, it's like, is this true? Because the film... If you were going down this road, you were like, the film clearly needed to be called Camp Rock, because the other titles that have floated around, according to IMDb, which how accurate's that? One of the film's original title was Rock Camp Rules, and then Camp Rock On. Like, when did you decide the camp was called Camp Rock? Because that's your title, buddy. Like, you're not.
Well, it could have originally been called Camp Rock On. Camp Rock On could be a name for a sequel, or that's like Camp Rock and Roll.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't add. What about Camp Rock Paper Scissors?
Yeah, that adds something.
The other thing I wanted to mention was The Final Jam is a weird subtitle for Camp Rock 2, because it's not often like the second film in a series is called The Final something. Like, often it'll be like the rounding off of a trilogy or something like that. And as we'll find out in the next segment, there are plans for a Camp Rock 3.
Well, I wouldn't say there's plans.
So, moving on to continue the franchise.
Oh, gee, I've got heaps of other stuff I want to say.
About the titles?
No, just in general. I don't know. Continue the franchise is normally like a wrappy up thing. Yeah,
that's true. Camp Rappy Up.
Yeah.
Let's just call it Camp Rap.
So Mitchie, it's established like early on, Mitchie has like a songbook where she writes all her lyrics and stuff like that, and she performs part of the songs to Tess and the crew. And Tess overhears Shane being like, "Oh, I like." Just want to find this girl. I remember the song. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be now. And then Tess is like, "Oh shit," and finds Mitchie's songbook and sees that it says, "This is real. This is me." Actually, wait, no. I just remembered how that is relevant. But basically, I was going to say, and then nothing comes of it. She doesn't retaliate in any way. She doesn't do anything. But that's what makes her frame them for stealing, isn't it? Or does it?
Yes, no, you're right. But it would have been a better plot device if Tess had stolen Mitch's song.
That's where it looks like it's going. If Tess then went up and performed, but
in true Cinderella stepsister style.
Yeah, part of me feels like that she finds the book after the whole bracelet fiasco, though. But I could be wrong.
We'll never know, dude, because I'm never watching this movie again.
I'll probably watch it again one day. But also the other thing is when Mitchie's like performing, she's finally got her moment at the end of Final Jam, and she performs her song, and then Shane Gray's like, maybe me, a massive celebrity, should just step into the middle of this song. And it's like, oh, there goes Mitchie's thunder. She's finally got her moment in the spotlight. And, just wait until afterwards and have a chat to her. Who put his mic up?
These are the questions that keep me awake at night, dude. Okay, let's continue the franchise, dude. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, a couple notes before we get into it. A reality TV series called My Camp Rock has been produced, and I assume it's like a singing competition show. I don't know. And it has international versions that are being produced in Scandinavia, Spain, France, and Benelux. I don't know. It's like Belgium and stuff. And there's also an Australia, New Zealand version called Camp Rock Down Under, or the Camp Rock the Tasman. I don't know if it changes, whatever. And I don't know if Camp Rock Down Under / the Tasman are in the same, like, under the umbrella of the My Camp Rock show. That was unclear. Really good research on my end for this episode. But on the subject of Camp Rock 3, both Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas have both said that they're keen to do an R-rated third film set during the characters' college years, but it would have to be without Disney Channel, which is crazy that you can be that famous and that involved in Hollywood as those two and actually think that's a possible. Like, actually think that you can take Disney Channel's movie and be like, no, we're going to make an R-rated version of it. There's no intellectual property issues here at all. Camp Rock 3 is listed.
Nick's also on board.
Yeah. Camp Rock 3 is listed on IMDb with a release date of 2019 and the entire cast list there. Will it be R-rated? Who knows? However, that does move me into my continue the franchise. And for the first time ever, I'm pitching a porn parody called
Camp Cock.
Called Ramp Cock. Ramp Cock, a Camp Rock porn parody. And that's all I wrote.
I'm just going to let that settle for a bit. All right, so that's your own R-rated continuation of the franchise. I don't know. This is one, again, this is like one of those, like, it's not necessarily what I'd like to see, but it feels like the fucking easiest thing to do, is that you could do, like, Camp Rock, the next generation, like the Legally Blondes of Camp Rock is like prime for the taking. Just find the next fucking Disney Channel, people, and then just do Camp Rock again. Tell the same friggin' story. Make Mitchie two people. Maybe I don't know. Maybe do a gender swap or something like that. I don't know. Something stupid. Who cares?
What about Camp Croc?
It's just about. And it's just about the video game Croc.
I was going to say,
and they all wear Crocs
to learn to be a crocodile.
And then there's one alligator.
Yeah, and that's the main character. We did it, man. We came up with Camp Croc. Okay, that's all I have to say about Camp Rock, possibly for the rest of my life. Wow. Do you have any other final thoughts? Any final jams, perhaps?
Well, I don't have one final thought. I actually have several. I have 21 reasons that Camp Rock was the ultimate summer camp.
Okay.
Rock.
Let's try keep this under an hour, Richard, and we're on 50 minutes.
Camp Rock was like a superstar factory. Kids go in a peasant and come out a musical genius. Would you agree? I
only have 2 samples. I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I can actually fucking make my way through this. Anyway, I thought it'd be funny to like go on BuzzFeed and like read things about how people are nostalgic for Camp Rock. Do you want to see? It's been 9 years since Camp Rock came out. Here's what the cast look like now.
Oh my god, she's hideous.
So Demi Lovato is Mitchie Torres. She looks
Don't do this.
more weathered. And apparently Demi Lovato says Disney asked her to fix her gap tooth before filming the movie. She did, and it's a choice she regrets to this day.
Wow. She still has a gap tooth.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but
that's one of the things I know about.
Oh, no, it used to be real bad looking at it.
Okay. I gotta look it up now.
Joe Jonas is Shane Gray, so he's got a lot less hair now. And in a Reddit AMA, Joe Jonas admitted his Camp Rock days make him cringe now. 1 to 10 rating of how embarrassing Camp Rock is to me now, 10 being the most and 1 being the least. I'm going to give it a solid 8, he said. Nick Jonas is Nate. He's also got a lot less hair. He's also in Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. He's also down to do the R-rated version. Kevin Jonas is Jason. He doesn't have that ridiculous straightened hair anymore. And he's got a little bit of stubble. And he taught himself to how to play the guitar one day when he was bored. Fuck. Megan Jet Martin as Tess Tyler looks the exact same.
Dude, no one cares, man. No one listening to this has even seen Camp Rock. Why are you telling us what these people look like? Stop this madness. End this at once.
Okay,
well, I guess this is the last episode of the whole cult podcast.
This is the worst thing you've done on the podcast.
This is it. It's never been this bad before. Man, she really did have like a more significant gap tooth, huh? If you type in on Google Demi Lovato gap tooth, the sixth image is a shot of her with a gap tooth, and the caption says, "Be yourself." But change that fucking tooth. Cool.
Alright, shall we do this fucking whatever the next segment is?
Yep, so now, before we go to Franchise Roulette, where we draw a random number that'll correspond to a franchise on our franchise list, while, Richard, you tee that up, I'll just let the good people at home know that if you liked this podcast, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on iTunes, you can find us on SoundCloud and Stitcher and Instagram. Please go to our Instagram because I want to push more people there, because I actually think Instagram's a real cool community. And we do all sorts of things other than podcasts, like videos, and that's about it. But still, we're cultivating mass of content. All right, what's our random number for the week?
16.
Oh, that was sassy. That sounded sarcastic.
16 is the Critters series, 4 films.
Critters.
I'll finally have a reason to talk about Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, he's not. He's in Critters 3?
Yeah.
I thought he was in another. Oh, maybe it is Critters 3. Anyway, there you go. So tune in next week for the Critters series, where anything can happen. Just like Camp Rock, anything can happen as long as it's G-rated and your parents approve of
it. Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
See it. I'm sorry I sang that whole song if that was still in there.
It's still in there. It'll never leave. It'll be in every episode from now on. It's our new theme tune. All right, goodbye.